It's cold out today. We're gonna work out though. I've got some speed bench and speed squats on the menu, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about why I do them. Oh, those are so nice. 36 degrees in the barn. I've got it set to 50. And it might get there in here, but when you're standing under one of these things, you are absolutely toasty warm. So it kind of reflects it over to the edge too. So even if I stand back here, I can still feel the heat coming off of them. These are just radiant propane heaters. 135,000 BTUs each. So the reason that I'm gonna do some speed bench and speed squats today is because of the dynamic method that Westside Barbell made so popular. So rather than just looking to move heavy weight, you're looking at rate of force development. So we're trying to increase that rate of force development and increase our explosive strength. This is something that I totally wish I would have done when I was running track back in high school and college. I didn't know about this type of training before, but it absolutely 100% will help you with jumping, sprinting, anything with being more fast and more explosive. It's actually one of the methods that I 100% credit having a 345-pound power clean at the, I believe it was 2012 CrossFit Games when we had a clean ladder. I did this type of training specifically with the deadlift, so it would help me not only with my deadlift, but my Olympic lifts as well. So I would do banded deadlifts or speed deadlifts. And I really do believe that that helped with the rate of force development and helped me have such a strong pull on all of my Olympic lifts as well as the deadlift. Shouldn't say strong pull, I would say help increase the rate of force development on the pole. Now, in order to do this right, you have to make sure that you are still maintaining a good rate of speed on the bar. I don't have the exact number for you, but I have linked Westside Barbell down in the description below where you can check out some more of that information and more of the scientific stuff. But basically, if you overload the barbell with too many bands or too much weight, you are not getting the intended effect or stimulus from the workout. So what I try to do is operate in that 45 all the way up to 60% range, which is pretty standard from what Westside recommends. And then I add bands on top of that, but I want to make sure that I can still move the barbell fast. That's the point of this. And as you're moving that barbell through the range of motion, the tension on the bar or the resistance on the bar is getting greater. So I want some band tension on there, but not so much that I'm going to slow down the lift and not get the intended effect. Now, one way you can measure band tension is if I were standing on a scale right now, I can get a base level measurement of what my weight is, and then as I continue to pull this band all the way up to where it's going to attach, I'm then going to read out what the poundage is down on the scale, and that's going to give me roughly about how much tension is on these bands.
Guys, today we have Andy and DJ Cruise the
All right, so I'm making about a 5% jump this week on the actual barbell weight. So we're up to 265, 55% of 475, which is my heaviest single. So that's what I'm gonna use today. It definitely feels a little bit slower. This isn't about the weight. It's not about the band tension. It's about getting the right amount so that you can still move the weight fast and get the stimulus that we're looking for. All right, so right now, important to note that I've got a about 90-second running clock going. Westside recommends you do these reps with about 60 seconds or a little over of rest, which is about what I'm getting on a 90-second clock. By the time I set up under the bar, I do the reps, I re-rack the bar. I've got about a minute to a little bit more than that for a rest. So I would operate on every minute on the minute or every 90 seconds. Anywhere in between there is going to be a good interval to do these reps. It's also important to note that a lot of times this is done with box squats. I just kind of like to do it with the regular back squat. I wasn't super happy with the speed I had out of the bottom, so as the weights go up for one more time in the next week up to that 60% range, I'm probably gonna peel off that orange band and go a little bit less bands as the weight jumps up or that percentage jumps up. Switching over to the bench press, I usually just use a doubled up band. I've got double reds on here right now. I used double blues last time, but based on how the squat session went, I wasn't moving the bar quite as fast as I wanted. So we're gonna reduce the band tension on the bench. I'm stepping up to 180 pounds for the overall weight and try to make sure that we can move this with the speed that we want. Now, one thing you're gonna notice on the bench press reps that I'm doing a little bit different is that I'm moving that bar fast up and down. I'm doing the 2 reps back to back as quick as I can. I don't do that on the squat. That's just a personal preference. You'll probably see people do it where they're gonna stand up and sit down as fast as they can for all the reps. I do it just to keep my body under a little bit more control. Had some trouble with my knees in the past, so I'm just trying to protect that area while I still get in the work. All right, much happier with how the bench press went. That was way better executed in terms of maintaining speed on the lift. So need to reduce the weight a little bit or the band tension a little bit on the squat for the next time. Wrapping up the session with some accessories on Saturdays, and when I do a dynamic effort or speed day, I like to put a little bit more focus on injury prevention. So I'm kind of working out some muscles that are gonna supplement or help out the lifts, not necessarily just to make me stronger in the lift, but to protect the different joints and the different portions of my body that are gonna be stressed while performing those lifts under a very, very high or maximal effort. So I've got some cable side raises that I'm gonna do out to sets of 20, and the same thing on the GHD sit-up. Both of those things are specific to, one, the bench for the delt on the side raise, and then my midline and my quads as well, or a little bit of that anterior chain, my hip flexors as well on the GHD sit-up. I'm just gonna do 2 rounds, 20 sets of each, and that's gonna be it for today. This is a very specific type of training. It's definitely not for everyone, but if you are looking to maximize your lifts, I would highly recommend you have a dynamic effort day in there somewhere. It's a great way to get a whole lot of work in without having to add a whole bunch of extra tonnage to your week in terms of weight moved, which can often lead to injuries or potential injuries or stressing your body a little bit past where it needs to be stressed to get some of the results that you want. Everything Dan Bailey is going to be in the links down below, including God's Country Coffee, alwaystrain.com, First Form Supplements, Rogue Fitness Gear, and the articles from Westside Barbell that I kind of referenced in this video. Give those a look, and we'll see you guys next time.